Hi everyone, it's Sailor Mimzy. This week's video is a flip through. Instead of doing the whole month of May in one shot, I'm gonna divide it into two parts just because I feel like they run way too long if I do it in one video. So this will be the part one, so it'll be May 1st to I think May 16th is what I decided to end on. So I just changed the paper cover that I had on my hobonichi. I had a matte print one, and I switched it out because the matte print was getting kind of like ratty and torn almost. So it got recycled and I made them into envelopes and just like scraps for journaling. And I just used this plain navy blue with white polka dot instead to cover it up. Alright, so we'll just get right into it. Seriously feels so weird that it's already June. Can't believe May flew by. So here's May. The last time we left off, we were on the last day of April, and this was blank last time you guys seen it. So recently I decorated it with washi and stickers and a quote from the book The Secret Garden. And I tried my best to write nicely, which was a challenge for me because whenever I handwrite, it's always rushed, so it's very sloppy. It says, "Is the spring coming?" he said. "What's it like?" "It is the sun shining on the rain and the rain falling on the sunshine." I thought it was really pretty. It's just a quote for spring. Okay, so first day of May. In this drawing, Sadie is sick. I took her out for a walk before I went to work that morning, and she ate grass, and lately grass has been making her puke. So she made a mess before I went into work. I know she's not sitting in a pile of her own puke. That's her little green rug that I have out in the hallway that she likes to sit on. And here we have a vintage image. I think this was supposed to be like a postcard. And then on the other side I just have some writing. And up top I have a quote by the wonderful George Costanza, if anyone is a Seinfeld fan. It says, "You know, if you take everything I've accomplished in my entire life and condense it down into one day, it looks decent." I love him so much. Okay, continuing on. Oh yeah, Sadie loves sunbathing, especially when we're outside. It is so difficult to get her back inside once she's like had a taste of the sun. So again, I took her out for a walk before I went to work, and it was so difficult getting her to come back into the house. So that's Sadie in her backyard doing her one of her weird little poses that she does. Her eyes shut because, you know, she's like totally ignoring me. I hate having to take her back inside because I just feel like I'm ruining her party. And this is a stamp from Michael's. It's a pretty rabbit. Alright, and the next day I finally caved and went to go see Batman vs. Superman. And I worked at the old library that I first started working at. That was really fun. The movie was not the greatest. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And I'm like I'm a fan of superhero movies. And I love Batman. But I just, like, Ben Affleck was actually alright as Batman. But yeah, I'm not gonna get into it because I can just keep going on and on. And I taped in a vintage page from a music book. And I chose this one on purpose just because it just mentions Robin, and if you've seen the Batman vs. Superman movie, it had Robin's uniform in it, or Robin's costume in it. I thought it was interesting. Anyways, so next page, just a cutout from a vintage image book on this side. And on this day it was surprisingly cold, and I wore layers and layers of clothing to bed because it was actually freezing. Ooh, Guritama. So this is just a corner of an envelope that I received from Laura. The tomatoes and the corn and the cantaloupe stamps, they look vintage and they're just really pretty. I had to keep them, of course. And this might sound weird, but whenever I see like these like date and place stamps that the post office puts on envelopes, I get so excited because I rarely see that anymore. So I had to keep that part of the envelope too. And yeah, this Guritama is from Ness. This is, oh, this is from a snack that I recently discovered and now like obsessed with. It's vegetarian chicharron, which is vegetarian version of like pork rinds. Because I don't eat meat. I eat fish, but I don't eat meat. And what even made me start eating this? I think a while ago my mom got me the vegetarian version of pork rinds before, and they were good but kind of salty, so I didn't really eat them so much. Then I recently discovered this super spicy version, and they're so good. But I cut out this part of the packaging because it made me laugh. If anyone understands or speaks Filipino, it says "Betcha by gulay ang hat." I thought that was so funny. It was cute. So yeah, I had to keep that. And of course there's Sadie. She is sticking her head out the window while we go for a drive. She loves doing that. Even when it's like ridiculously cold out, she still does it. On the other side, it's Friday. And I put a quote here from The Office. One of my favorite characters, Andy Bernard, says it. At the very last episode, he says, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them." But oh, the feels in that quote. And then I just made a little scenery here with some stickers. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but there's actually 3 inker cutouts here. I was playing around trying to make stickers and stuff with my punch, my inker punch. And instead of throwing these out, I ended up just sticking them in here because they were pretty cool looking. So on this side, nothing too exciting. I had to work all day and I was busy with school. Oh, the highlight of my day actually, I found a bag of Hi-Chew candy when I got home that I completely forgot about. Hi-Chew is so addictive. I recently tried the mango flavor, it's so good. But strawberry is usually my go-to. Strawberry and the yogurt flavor are my favorites. And this is a doodle I did while I was at work. And there's more writing underneath. It's just a ballpoint pen doodle. And on this side, there's more writing underneath. And this is supposed to be like a vintage postcard. It's Mother's Day this day. What do we do on Mother's Day? Oh, husband worked. And we visited my family afterwards and hung out with my nieces. And I did a little family portrait there, well, I tried to. And on Monday, the next day, ooh, I had this Whittaker's peanut butter chocolate for the first time and it was so good. I think that's, yeah, the yummiest chocolate bar I've ever had, ever, is what I wrote here. And this Guritama piece here came from packaging from one of the things that I got from that subscription box. I was just reading about this. So I drew like a kind of an embarrassed face and it says dum dum with an arrow pointing at me. What happened was I was going to the bus stop and my legs were walking like it was uneven ground, but really the ground was totally like flat pretty much. But my legs just, I don't know what happened. Maybe my brain and my legs weren't communicating properly with each other. So I like almost, it looked like I almost tripped on completely nothing. And thank goodness nobody was around because that was kind of embarrassing. There's a different rabbit stamp there. So this story here, I don't know if the camera can pick it up. There is Sadie and she is, you can't tell, but she's supposed to be standing on like a window. She has her 2 front legs up on the window sill. So my husband and I and Sadie, we went to Subway And me and Sadie were just waiting in the vehicle for him, but then I figured let's go out and have a little adventure while waiting for him. And her first instinct, I thought she was gonna go straight for like the shady looking creepy back lane or something, or like the garbage is there, but instead she went straight for the subway building. She went straight to the door and she wanted me to open the door and let her in. Obviously I was not gonna let her into Subway, but instead this is what she did. She like propped up her front legs and she was peeking in at my husband. He was like the only one in Subway besides the person working, and eventually he finally saw us. And like, oh, I wish I could have seen like from his point of view how she looked. So this is how I imagined it would have looked. Oh, she's so cute. I think she was concerned about him. Okay, and on the 11th, I tried drawing the wrapper of the Japanese snack. Ness spoils me and sends me them. I think it's pronounced umaibo, but this is my favorite flavor. Corn potage, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's the yummiest one. And here, it says here, out of nowhere tonight, Sadie slept on the gamer chair in the office. She looked like a kidney. So she really did look like a furry little kidney. It was very cute. Okay, so May 12th, Thursday, it snowed. It wasn't enough to like make a snowman or anything, but it was like snowing and it was really pretty. We had to turn our heat on and I wore a super thick knitted wool sweater to bed. And what else? Oh, on this day I also discovered that I want an armadillo and or an armadillo pup. So I tried doing a doodle there of one. If you guys can, look up an armadillo pup. I think they're so cute. They're like kind of weird looking, but still adorable. I'm not allowed to have one. Even if like the laws stated that I could have a pet armadillo, my husband would not let me. So underneath my doodle it says, add this guy to the list of animals that he won't let me have. And there's a quick watercolor here of a sad bear. What happened was my husband got into a car accident this day. Everyone's okay, just our vehicle ended up getting written off, but all is okay. And this is from a bag of crispy seaweed snacks that I fell in love with. I just thought it was funny because it says delicious with good from the sea. I don't know, it kind of doesn't make sense to me. That's why I kept it. Friday, we did a lot of housework. My husband gets Fridays and Saturdays off. So yeah, we did lots of housework this day and we had a fancy dinner out at a restaurant. This is a sticker that was on my takeaway box. But they're closing down after 40 years. Over 40 years now. And we went with my brother and sister. It was really yummy. It was lots of food though. And what else? Oh, I woke up at 6:15 a.m. No alarm or anything. Woke up and stayed awake. I had at least 4 hours of sleep, but I was totally fine and I was trying to get my husband to wake up too. And it was his day off and he wanted to sleep in. So I let him sleep in until 9, I think. I don't remember. But I remember being really annoying. And this is a... Let's see, where did I get this picture of this woman from? I don't remember where I got that picture from. It was from like a vintage book on cooking, I think. And it was already falling apart, so I took out what I could. Alright, and then the next day I took the bus to work, and it's very rare for me to get on an empty bus. There's usually a few people or way too many people on the bus, so I got on. I was the only one on and I felt like the king for a few stops until more people got on. So yeah, I bused to work. It was a Saturday, so I think it was probably 8 something in the morning. And then this picture, oh my gosh, I had to keep this one. It is part of that seaweed snack I mentioned a couple of pages ago back there. But yeah, so this was on the back. It's like a diagram of how they make their seaweed. But obviously it's not exactly like this. I just thought it was really, really cute. So yeah, it says here, I don't know if you guys can see it. We select high quality seaweed, passing through the state-of-the-art technology machinery, Crispiness and natural taste of seaweed has been preserved. Full of goodness is packed. Okay, and at work, this little boy and his family drop books off at the counter. And the first thing and only thing that one of the boys said to me was, "I sneezed and water ran out my nose and I hit my brother's head." And that's all he said. I burst out laughing. It was adorable. So Sunday, Game of Thrones night, that's why I have this drawing of the Khal Drogo there. Cut up from a magazine. Husband was started biking to work again, and I was actually pretty proud of this drawing. I didn't look at anything, I just tried really hard to remember what a bike looked like and how a bear would look sitting on one. That's obviously not accurate. And over here in this picture, so Sadie doesn't usually touch our things, like our clothes, and like if I drop a pen, she won't take it or anything, because she knows what's hers and what's not hers. But the very, very rare odd time, she'll take a shoe or a sock to tote around. And this day, it happened to be one of my Gudetama socks. I couldn't get mad at her, it was too cute. I just asked her to drop it and she like put it down. And I'm gonna stop on the 16th, so it's this day. I ordered some dresses online, so I tried doing like a sketch of them from memory. And I've received the order since then, and looking back at this, I didn't do too bad of a job depicting their likeness. And this part is about, well, I had to work that day, and my husband said that he was going to be doing yard work, and he usually does the yard work for us, and I stay inside and watch. Sometimes I help pull weeds and stuff, but I hate doing it. But yeah, Sadie loves watching out the window, especially when my husband's outside. She likes to watch. So I'm gonna cut off the video here because, like I said, I don't want to make this way too long. The second part of the video will be coming in, I guess, a few days after this one. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Any comments, questions, or suggestions or anything like that, just leave it in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!